launch video, which is like a really big topic, right? I mean, there's a lot of people talking about it.
Just to follow up, a Tesla Plaid weighs 5,390 pounds.
Okay. Are Tesla people car people? Like, there's nobody with their 67 Mustang, nobody with their 69 Camaro. I don't care how viral the video is going to go, is going to ramp it. You know what I mean? Like, we just care too much about it. And I just think that video to me told me Tesla, that's not a car guy. Like, nobody that really cared, that really had the relationship that I think the three of us and most of the people that we run with had the relationship that they have with their vehicle, just would never allow that type of sacrifice. Right. I mean, unless it's for like a Hollywood production. Unless
it didn't seem like the people that were standing around videoing it or anything, I don't know if they even expected that to happen. And they just didn't look like car people.
I didn't see any of the people, but it just told me that
we always say this too. Like, if you watch YouTube reviews or whatever of Tesla, it's usually like tech guys, like that review a MacBook Pro and then their Tesla Plaid that Tesla gave them.
There wasn't one guy with a black hoodie in that crowd.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even have your radial tire starter.
I didn't see a Precision Turbo sweatshirt at all. So that tells me.
But Dion actually just made our producer here just made a point too, that like, what's the difference between ramping your Tesla and like tearing up your race car? But I will tell you, there's two types of drag racers. There are types of drag racers that have like a really unique relationship with their car and they clean it all the time and it's always mint. And if you lean up against it or scratch it with a Zeus tool, you're going to be murdered. That's my dad. That's my drag racing experience. However, you also at times can go to the racetrack and you'll see a car covered in handprints and all dirty because that's a racer who sees the car as a tool. Right. Yeah. I remember the first time Warren Johnson's cars, I'm not saying they were rough or anything, but it was not at all surprising to see one of WJ's Pro Stock cars go to the starting line with handprints all over it and clutched up dirty.
If you get up close to some of the quickest cars out there, you would be shocked at how
they're kept
dirty and because
they see it as a tool.
And this thing is out of there at the end of the season. I mean, they're not attached to this thing at all. That's the way it is, at least especially in modern times, I think. But yeah, to your point, back then they used to keep cars longer as well. And I think
that's a good point too.
You'd see guys somewhere in between. But
do you think that that's part of the problem? Because I had this conversation earlier with somebody. I was talking to one of my racing buddies and we were talking about the highest levels of drag racing. To some extent, it has become as much about how much you're willing to sacrifice as anything else. Like, are you willing? How many times have we heard Stevie Fast Jackson say that he ran the rods out of it?
Yeah.
You'll never, ever, ever hear anybody in my family say that, right? Because they had too much of a connection to it to tear it up. Don Garlitz, that was one of Big Daddy's go-tos, is how do we fix the sport? How do we slow down, curtail the spending, race the engine you qualify with, right? I mean, things like that where you're not allowed. I mean, you're getting DQ'd, right? If you can't make the call in a certain amount of time, or if you don't run the engine that you I do think about that.